President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi stressed that Egypt believes in the importance of the strategic role of the media in supporting countries' efforts to achieve stability and development. The President's remarks came during receiving Arab information ministers at Al Ittihadiyya Palace last week. Such a role in security and development is to be achieved by discussing national issues and raising public awareness. Regarding tackling common concerns and challenges facing the Arab world requires the Arab media, speaking the same language, unite main messages to help overcome these challenges in a deep and objective manner, backed by facts for having a realistic collective Arab conscience. The President also stressed that the media shoulders responsibility of presenting honest content away from extremism ideology, hate speech, and incitement against various Arab peoples. Sisi added that destruction has not and will not be a civilized message. He also pointed out that religious values are not built on the ruins and destruction because the message of religion calls for building, reconstruction, peace, and development. This can only be achieved by providing security, political, and moral stability for the people in a safe, civilized world. The ministers participating in the 52nd session of the Arab Information Ministers' Council expressed their honor and praised the tangible achievements that Egypt has made under the leadership of President Sisi on the political, development, economic, and social levels. This sets an example for the Arab nation to follow in terms of achieving progress, prosperity, and sustainable development. They also lauded Egypt's role to preserve the security and stability of the Arab states. President Sisi also addressed important topics raised at the Arab Information Ministers' Council meeting, particularly those pertaining to media awareness for future generations and the vital role of the media in supporting Arab national security, promoting institutional building, and strengthening fraternal bonds between the Arab states. Therefore, media organizations should adhere to robust standards, set sound priorities, and raise awareness among peoples and communities about various challenges and how to face them and deal with lies and rumors.
Welcome back, and indeed, it's a story of success of a country with a nation that really desires a future for itself. And I guess that we are part of this future. We are part of contributing to the aspiration of media. Let me here welcome our guest before delving into our discussion, our dearest guest, Dr. Magda Bagnied, Professor of Mass Communication, Head of the Radio and Television Department. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Most welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you all the time.
The pleasure is all ours.
Thank you.
Media. And media is a big name.
Yes.
It's a big name. And now we're not just speaking about broadcast media or broadcasting media with
in general
hearing and seeing. No, we're speaking
all
about
sorts of media.
Indeed. Indeed. Let me take you reading to the scene of media today.
If I talk about the ministerial gathering of the Arabs, if you would like me to focus on this a little bit, it's very important for us Arabs to be together in order to have something like main points that we have to discuss so that nothing will happen against our wishes, because media is dangerous, it's a power in itself. Of course, people, the listeners know that. The role of media is so great and so important. If we do not watch out, things could go out of hand. So I think this is very realistic. From time to time, we can check and we can consolidate each other, strengthen the idea itself of the Arabs together, facing problems coming from here and there, especially when the world, we just came out of the corona about. And also another problematic thing is the war ongoing now on the world. Number 3 is the economic status, of course. Everybody is suffering.
Definitely wars reflect on the status of economies.
Of course. Besides the changing of the environment, which will be soon coming to Egypt as a conference that will be holding this. This is the picture that we can talk about. The role of media here is very important to direct, to make people aware. Awareness is very important. And also to show them, tell them, and see what is on the agenda and deal with it. As simply as that, because media does have a role.
But before we go into the role of media, because we're going to speak about each specification at its part. Here, let me read. You are professor of mass communication and head of the Department of Radio and Television, which we will add also the social media and its contribution. But
it's coming.
Before that, let me take here, how do you view the existing media, and how do you view how it contributes to the important topics or the important problems or the important crises that are part of our life today, and what is a negative media and a positive media?
How many questions do we have?
We have many. So start with whatever.
I can tell. Well, the role of media here, we have to be very careful to deal. I mean, you have an agenda in front of you, and you have several stations. Everybody and each country would have a special, let's say, message to the people. People sometimes not only depending on their own media. Now they shift because of, you know, the communication. The world is now open to everybody. I mean, you can listen to America, you can listen to Europe, you can listen to Africa. Now, where are we from all of this? We have to be part of the whole and to see what is incoming. If this is dangerous for us, you have to create awareness, how to deal with a certain stage, these like stages. We have to know how to deal with it by meaning, if I hear a rumor, let's say a rumor coming, how can I fight this? By telling the people what is exactly happening, if this is correct or not, but I do not leave it as is, but I have to define to the people, look guys, this is what is happening, is this true or not? I have to tell them as well. You have to make your people aware, not us alone, but if I'm talking, if you have like a ministerial meeting for the, you know, people of the media, then we have to expose what is happening in these countries. And then maybe we have something like conspiracy in some way, maybe, especially with the ongoing war in the world today. The situation is not that easy. And with the economic problem, the situation is not easy. So we have to prepare ourselves. If something comes, we have to explain to the people so that people with rumors or anybody with rumors will not come to destroy your path, the way that you will deal with it.
If I may say, this is a kind of the positive media that we need, that deals with the misleading and false information given.
And there are lots of misleading information. Do not tell me such as what, because there are plenty, many things that could go wrong. So you have to protect your country. We as Arab Muslim countries, we have to take care of that.
Expose the reality of things, expose a problem, and at the same time...
Definitely, definitely.
This is a positive media. What is a negative media?
Lots, many. It's all around. Just even look to the radio, the television, here and outside. I'm not talking about Egypt only. What I'd like to focus on is the role of the social media. Now, what is the social media? Social media could be very dangerous in even making you just in another way. I mean, you're going in a main street, and then you can, if I have something else that comes that interferes with your focus, with your aims, with whatever, and these people, if they are not aware of what they are saying, that is catastrophic. If people believe them, this is more catastrophic. What should we do? If I listen and watch social media, I'm talking here about whether this is Facebook, whether this is Instagram or whatever. I have to check the source. Who's telling me that? Is he a reliable source or not? If not, I am not sure. I will not put it until I will check it out. Do not tell your people something like in the radio sometimes. They say the trend today is such and such a thing. What, so what? You know, these are points that we have to take into consideration. Clarify to the people once and twice and three times, because this is, you are building your country. You are supporting your country and other countries as well. When they say something that you do not believe in, then we have to check.
We're speaking here about correcting.
Correcting and telling me what is your source.
That are given, right. But in order to do that, we have to discuss one big issue, which is the perception or the perceptors of the news. And I mean here, you are a professor of mass communication. I am a presenter and an editor-in-chief to news. So
Sure.
I am aware with what is false
Happening.
information and what are correct information.
Definitely, definitely. And when you teach, you have to tell the people, the students, you have to clarify for them what is the good news, what's the bad news, and how could they differentiate between if this is something false,
Yes.
and what is the repercussion of telling false information or giving false information to the people.
Yes, Dr. Bagnied, we're speaking here about a certain level of the society or a certain segment in the
Honesty
society.
is important.
Yes, yes, definitely. We'll also speak about what is needed. But let me here take the perceptors, because we're not speaking about one segment in the society, that one that has the ability to grasp and understand.
Not all will understand you.
And even take in the background what is important, what is true or what not. No, we're speaking about different segments of the society.
Exactly.
People who can,
Educated and not educated.
yes,
And the general people.
in different segments of the society. It's not just education, but lots and lots of
The way they
issues
see things
that-
in life. Do not expect everybody to be
So
educated.
Let me here ask you about the specific characteristics of the Arab society or the societies, and how Arab media can tackle issues in a way to adhere to those specifics.
First of all, you have to know that our Arab construction, we have the same language, we have the same religion, we have the same, almost a little bit of background of culture. We are governed by these concepts. Now, when you try to introduce something which is against the culture, against religion, and against whatever,
That's logic, because mostly
I'll tell you, if you'd like to talk about, if I get something from the West which is against my creed and against my society, that will make a big problem. I mean, religiously speaking, some of the points are not accepted. The idea itself of, I do not want to say, for instance, homosexuality, for instance, if I talk about things like that. Do we accept that in our society? Do we accept that in our society? Gay society? It is outside the country.
We're not speaking about.
I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it because if I introduce something against the country and the belief system and so on, you will have problems. So we have to clarify to people what you're watching is happening in the Western world, for instance. But our culture and tradition, we have our own.
So the graspers of such information, this is what I'm speaking about, the perceptors. I mean,
clarify for them before they accept.
Clarify to whom? This is why I'm
general
asking,
people.
This is why I'm asking about the specificities of the Arab societies.
Programs that you present on radio and television are very important. Very important. For instance, I listen to radio these days. I listen to the radio. I mean,
how
the
do
way
you put categories in the societies? How to talk to each category?
Simple. If you're having, can I mention some of the stations? If you like, I can mention some of the stations.
Not stations. We don't have to speak about stations, but we.
But I'm talking. There is a
asking about the
special.
society.
Okay, let me tell you. You have specific channels, or say in the radio, because I listen to that, talking to the common people, simply explaining to them what is happening. I like that. I like that because you have people who are educated, they have background in media, they are practitioners as well, not necessarily having a degree in media. They could be in other fields, but when they talk about what is happening and clarify to the people that this is right and this is wrong, and why is it right, why is it wrong. Programs like that, I think, is very important. Not only songs. You can use songs and tell them, you know, some of the ideas. You can insert certain ideas that you are supporting your country. For instance, the nationalistic songs and things like that. You're supporting your country. You're supporting the well-being of the people. And also you have to talk about what is good and what is bad to be presented on television and on radio and social media. Social media has gone so far to the extent that unbelievable.
And this is dangerous situation I'm speaking about.
Definitely.
Because
Definitely.
they are given the false information, the very misleading one, and sometimes big fat lies. And people are receiving two kind of information.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I can say something directly by a speech. But now we have to remember that the media, now we have the visual communication. We have different types of things that you can present to the people without talking, by showing them a small video or something which comes colorful, beautiful, and then people will listen and they will watch and they will. I'm not talking about us, our age. I'm talking about kids in school, kids in the street, and at all level of society. I'm presenting to you to the latest, I would say, technology in using the media. This is something that we have to be aware of. Introducing type of music that will make people sing in a certain way. Images. Oh, it's so big. It's so big. If we're not aware, if we do not tell the people to watch out, then they will grasp it. It's like taking, special drugs. They get addicted to it. You don't like it at the very beginning, but after a while, you get used to it. So when it is said, we can go worse than that. Songs, ideas, just name it. Just name it. People will click to it.
So giving them the information in an attractive way.
Direct way, simple way. Simple. You have to be simple here. I mean, they are watching something which is, oh my God, look at this film. It's so good. Kids will become attracted to that. And we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful with that, because this is the future. I mean, to them, this is the future. Are you talking to me about what happened yesterday? Look at today, what is happening. I'm just talking about the way media now is. We are moving very fast. Tomorrow and after tomorrow, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing, This will change. This is part of the social media. These things will change.
Indeed. And the way we should tackle things also should be changing.
We also should be aware, if you're presenting a program to the people, I mean, people should study before they talk. They have to have the material to tell them, look at this, look at that, this is right, this is wrong. It's up to you. But if you watch this and you go to this line, this will happen to you at the very end. I mean, give guidelines, simple guidelines to the people. Social media is carrying us, dragging us. This is the trend. So what? What kind of trend is this? You're spoiling your own people.
Social media is a very...
Are we running out of time?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
But if we speak about social media, it's going to take long and long.
I know.
Because social media has many
but there is good point in
angles
this.
and tools that we need to address.
I have something to tell you. We know the bad part of social media. There is a good point in this.
Definitely.
Could you tell me some of that? I'm just asking.
Of course. Social media is but I'm turning into you. But yes, let me take it this time.
Just be careful.
Social media can be a very interesting
it is interesting.
way in presenting
rumors,
ideas, ideas
okay,
that can contribute for any of whatever the goals that we need. But if we present or choose the right way in presenting it in social media, that is one thing. But I'm not going to answer more than that. I'm not going to be the guest. So before we move on, let me take here.
But let me tell you one good point about it. The social media, sometimes if they do not like something, they will talk about it. They will expose certain things. Something good can come out of this. Checking over a system. They don't like it. They will talk about it. So people who are in charge, they will say, watch out. It's not the media that we're talking.
Yes.
It's not our media.
It's not what we need.
It's the people talking.
Yes.
Be careful.
Yes.
They will check.
Let me here take this report before we move on.
Okay, go ahead.
The role of Arab media in achieving sustainable development goals, because this is part also of the role of the media. Let's watch.
Okay.